January 20th, 2022, This Week at Bungie, we're sweeping up some blues. Time's been flying by, hasn't it? Including the article you're reading today, just 5 more twabs stand between you and the Witch Queen. We don't yet have the technology to enter a hyper sleep that can bridge these gaps, but we do have the power to set some expectations on topics we'll be covering between now and then. This week we'll be talking about power, blue drops, gunsmith reputation, some shifts in exotic sources, and more. Over the next few twabs, we'll be talking Vanguard rep, Gambit reworks, thank God, weapon crafting, and Void 3.0, but not necessarily in that order. Don't forget the patch notes, previews, and additional weapon tuning details. It'll be a fun time. Hopefully we'll give you some things to chew on each week. We may even have a trailer or two to share with you before launch. If you haven't been on social media in the last week, you might have missed some bite-sized snippets of story. Check out the most recent videos on their Twitter page. So let's kick things off with power and where your guardian will stand when it's time to embark on the Witch Queen's campaign. The power is yours. In the realm of Destiny, power is not only a measurement of your guardian's general abilities, but a consistent gauge for players on whether or not they'll be able to tackle a given challenge. While the Witch Queen won't feature a big overhaul to the ways in which you'll gain power, we do have some general updates coming on launch day to get returning and new players up and ready for a fresh campaign. First, let's talk some definitions. Some of you may know these by heart, but we're always excited to introduce new lights and returning players to information like this. Floor, the lowest possible power for a piece of gear, starting point for new characters. Soft cap, the point at which general drops stop being automatic upgrades. Powerful gear drops are now the best way to gain power. Power cap, the point at which powerful drops stop being upgrades. Pinnacle gear drops are now the only way to gain power. Hard cap, max possible power from pinnacle weapons, ignoring artifact power. Starting on February 22nd, the power floor will be updated to 1350. Any player who signs in will be at appropriate power levels to start the Witch Queen campaign, even if they've taken a recent break from the game. Through general gameplay, players can reach the soft cap of 1500 by earning general gear through activity completions, chests, and more. This includes rare and legendary drops. Once reaching the soft cap, players will need to earn powerful drops from vendor challenges and other objectives in the game. Once reaching the power cap of 1550, the only upgrades that players will find are from endgame activities that offer pinnacle rewards. Your final stretch to the hard cap of 1560 will be through raids, Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and other endgame PvE sources. There will be some adjustments to pinnacle and powerful sources as these shift yearly to focus on newer seasonal content and fresh Destiny 2 expansion content offered with the Witch Queen. Keep an eye on tooltips as you start completing activities, as they'll specifically note the different types of rewards that they offer. We have no doubt that our more eager players will create guides within a week of launch, but we hope that the power climb is fairly easy to understand once you get your boots on the ground on February 22nd. Designing an economy is easy, right? Short answer, absolutely not. Nothing in game design is easy, especially when tackling the various currencies and exchanges that Destiny 2 offers. This week we'll be diving in with economy feature lead Joshua Kurlinski, speaking to some exciting changes on behalf of the team. Joshua speaking here. Beginning in the Witch Queen, blue, or rare rewards, will stop dropping from playlist activities, Crucible, Strikes, Gambit, etc., once players have reached the soft cap. Players above the soft cap, 1500 power in the Witch Queen, will instead see a slightly increased chance at receiving legendary rewards from these activities, or a small amount of legendary shards. Blue weapons and armors will continue to drop from enemies and chests while playing Destiny 2, but we hope that this will reduce the need for players to manage their inventories and reduce the frequency of visits to the Postmaster when running playlist activities. We have some work ahead of us when it comes to rarity as a subject in Destiny 2. While blue gear helps players increase their power earlier in the game, we want to look at their place in the overall game. We aren't expecting any major changes in the next few seasons, but we'll be spending some time behind the scenes thinking about the future of rare drops all up. That's a weird sentence. Gunsmith reputation. Banshee 44 is getting a new reputation system that matches the other vendors in the tower, such as Zavala and Shaxx. This means we're removing some of the items that were previously associated with gunsmith reputation, namely gunsmith materials and weapon telemetries. Players will now earn reputation rank progress with Banshee 44 when dismantling legendary and exotic weapons and armor, or by completing daily gunsmith bounties. I feel like people will be able to cheese that pretty easily, just pull an exotic, delete it, pull an exotic, delete it, pull an exotic, delete it, and so forth. Hopefully, they kind of have that idea in mind. Players will want to spend their gunsmith materials and weapons telemetries at Banshee 44 before February 22nd, 2022. Any materials that are not spent will be removed from inventory automatically. Gonna be a long stream of that for a lot of people. Mods and mod components. We'll also be removing mod components from the game, starting in the Witch Queen weapon and armor mods sold by Banshee 44 and 801 Max. Respectively, will no longer require mod components to purchase and will instead cost 10,000 glimmer each. Furthermore, as part of this update, we are increasing the number of mods available on each vendor at a single time from 2 to 4. Before we move on, it should be noted that all ghost mods that generated weapon telemetries will be removed as they no longer serve a purpose. These mods are Arc Analyzer, Solar Analyzer, Void Analyzer, Omni Telemetry, Banshee Special. Rahul's taking over. As we have mentioned in the past, Master Rahul, what a tongue twister, will be inheriting Spider's material exchange duties in the Witch Queen. Exchange rates should match what you should know from Spider for now, but these services are being shifted to the tower as the Tangled Shore will soon be off limits to Guardians. In addition, Rahul will be also picking up some items of the wares that Banshee 44 and 801 once offered, specifically the sale of enhancement prisms and ascendant shards. As noted before, this makes space for more mods to be available from purchasing during a given week. Rahul will offer these materials at the same price as Banshee 44 and 801 once sold them. Enhancement prisms was 10 enhancement cores, 25 planetary materials, and 10,000 glimmer. Enhancement shards was 10 enhancement prisms, 100 planetary materials, and 50,000 glimmer. Didn't know those were that high. As a final note, before we move on to Max. Onto some exotic news, Master Rahul will also be able to decrypt Umbral engrams, so players will not have to hop between the helm and the tower to decrypt all of the engrams in their inventory. Important piece here, focusing for individual seasonal weapons and armor will live on seasonal vendors in the helm moving forward. So, if you want to focus on a specific weapon from a given season, you'll still need to head to the helm for decryption. Seems like the actual recaster is disappearing, which is interesting. Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale. As of February 22nd, 2022, the Harbinger and Presage exotic missions will no longer be accessible. The team still wanted to preserve the ability for players to obtain random rolls of these weapons. Therefore, instead of adding these items to the Monument of Lost Lights, as we have done with most of our previous exotics, that no longer have sources, these two weapons will show up as part of Xur's inventory each weekend. Every week, Xur will offer a unique roll for both Hawkmoon and Dead Man's Tale. It will be purchasable to all players that own Beyond Light for the following materials: 1 Ascendant Shard, 1 Exotic Cipher, 125,000 Glimmer, and 200 Legendary Shards. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. Not a big fan. But I do like this. Wait, before you go, what about those exotic catalysts? Oh, that's something fun. The Hawkmoon, DMT, and Aegir Scepter catalysts will be moved to the playlist activities. Strikes, Crucible, Gambit. You have to complete them, though. In addition to these three, we have also added the ability for 3 catalysts that have been absent from Destiny 2 to drop from playlist activities as well. Dun 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 dun! The full list: Hawkmoon, DMT, Aegir Scepter, Outbreak Perfected, Whisper of the Worm, and the 4th Horseman. Finally, Outbreak Perfected and the Whisper of the Worm have both had their requirements for completing their catalyst updated so that they can be completed without access to the original activities. Took long enough. Now, important, save the raid date. The Witch Queen has a new raid. Surprising? No. While we still have a bit of time before the world's first race begins, we wanted to give a rally flag planted in the sand for when you should expect to be taken, on the challenge. Destiny 2, the Witch Queen Redacted Raid, March 5th, 2022. That is the weekend after launch, 10 a.m. Pacific, which is an hour after reset, which is actually kind of nice. We'll have additional details on contest mode, Bungie rewards, and other need-to-know information closer to the date. Until then, get in those time-off requests. If you're still in school, we do not advise faking sick notes from doctors or lying to your parents to stay home. Go to class, do your homework, ace those tests. Be a good student. Conquer the raid boss, that is the essay due next week. Raid prep can be an evening activity. We'll be proud of you either way. Here's some patch notes. We're going to get to that in a different video. Just go check that out. Known issues here. When first spawning into an area or activity, hand cannons sometimes don't have ammo. Thought that was just me. The Dares of Eternity's game streak now gives a maximum of 125 points per completion. And then you've got your movies of the week. Check them out if you'd like. Ooh, that might be fun to watch. I'm going to open that one up for later. Go watch that on my own time. And then Artist of the Week. Ooh, that is beautiful. Some malfeasance there. Showing that some love. Interesting photo of Shax. Hi, Max again. See somebody outside. All right. Now, a quick clarification before we go. Over the weekend, a few Guardians out there were scrapping our articles to figure out whether or not Iron Banner bounties will be removed at the end of the season. It was discovered that we had a slight error published to the website, and I wanted to take a moment to set expectations on what is being removed. Iron Banner bounties will not be removed at the end of the season. Bounties acquired and completed at any point during the season will be retained after the Witch Queen releases. Note, bounties retained from Season of the Lost will be capped at 1350 power and not give players any bonus power next season upon redemption. Additional notes. These bounties will be removed at the end of Season 16 as Saladin will be taking his turn in our rollout of battle reworks. Max! Final note, because I have you here, our final Iron Banner of the season will be during the final week of Season of the Lost. Interesting choice there. Seasonal bounties related to Season of the Hunt, Season of the Chosen, Season of the Splicer, and Season of the Lost will be removed at the end of the season. Bounties from the Tangled Shore destination will be removed at the end of the season. Some daily bounties from general activities or destinations may be removed depending on objective or reward balancing on a per bounty basis. Example, a handful of Drifter and Gunsmith bounties are being looked at alongside some vendor work. Note, oh dear, did we just confirm the Drifter is getting a pass? Well, that shouldn't be a surprise. We're tinkering with Gambit in Season 16. More on that in a future TWAB. God, I hope it's next week. Rule of thumb. If you do not want to lose your rewards, we highly recommend that you turn in your bounties before a new year of Destiny content hits the servers. While some of you are looking to rank up at your artifact a bit faster than others, we expect many of your mod unlocks to come from completing the campaign and jumping into quest activities afterwards. Take your time. You'll unlock all the goodies, we have no doubts. Thanks for stopping by another TWAB. Next week, Hippie will take the reins again for her second TWAB. Until then, we'll see you in the wild. One thing I did want to point out, where is it? Up a little bit further. Did they take it out? They really take it out? Maybe not, and I'm just dumb. Maybe it wasn't ever there. They definitely edited this, because I definitely remember reading it. But they broke down everything. So, starting at 1350, which is I think the first time we have moved incremental from a base number to a different base number without actually doing anything. They're just auto moving us up 20 levels, which makes no sense to me. Just start us off at 1330. The soft cap It's going to be a 1500, which is great. Nice round number. I wish the power cap instead of 1550 was 1540, so then the hard cap can be 1550. It makes my numbers nice and round in my head, and I like it a lot better. That's just my thoughts on that. I've been wanting that for a long time now. But otherwise, that is all we have for this TWAB. If you do have any questions, you can head on over to Twitter, Bungie's help forums. They're always there to assist with any questions you might have. Until next time, Guardians, stay safe.